Hello, it is a dark episode for January the 31st, 2022. Well, I had an interesting day. I got a message from YouTube saying that I'd had a community standards strike on my first and longest review of The Codebreaker by Walter Isaacson, in which I talked about those shots that we were getting, only in a very kind of brief, out of context way, but I rather suspect it's because of machine intelligence linking up certain words in my video, which I won't repeat here because I don't want them to then get flagged again, but to have to do with various countries and various technologies that are discussed in the Codebreaker. And I think that all combined together for the video to get a warning, which I've decided I went, it's like, well, I'm not actually, it's funny because this is posted like this video on my private channel here, which I don't care, nobody's gonna watch, but no ums, no ahs. But I decided I better appeal it because I don't want to leave something like that just not contested standing on my channel, because it would affect both channels, and therefore it would be a little tick mark on my thing that could add up if something like this happened again, against me. So I've appealed it. I guess we'll see if that is effective. Basically just put a message saying, yeah, I mentioned those things in the context of people not being able to get them in other countries, as just an equity thing, and I didn't comment on or provide information about those shots in any way. So don't. That was my appeal. See, I'm trying to avoid the keywords because I don't want to trigger the machine intelligence again. So yeah, that was interesting. Funnily enough, the other thing that I did was I did a third version of the video. This one a bit more structured, just to see how that went. Turns out it was probably longer than my second attempt. My second attempt hasn't gotten any strike on it because I don't think I wavered off into that little cul-de-sac. Damn it. Into that little cul-de-sac. Theo really has this tendency to want to bark at things. Theo, come on. Get away. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. So yeah, I did the video a third time, and I'll have to compare my second and my third attempt together. I think my third attempt might be the one where I feel like I got everything that I wanted to say in a fairly concise manner, and I actually talked a little bit more about the book, not just what the book was talking about, which I think is probably a danger in non-fiction books, of just focusing on the topic versus talking about the actual book. Probably still could have done better, but past a certain point, you just gotta give up and let it go. So I feel like I'm doing well in kind of in trying to improve myself as a videographer. No ums, no ahs. Also trying to be just a bit more sharper of a reviewer. I've been doing it for 4 years now. I guess improvement has to happen at some point. At some point it will. Just very slow and grindingly it will happen. No ums, no ahs. Yeah, so try not to kick myself, but also just, I think keeping know-you-knows either. Trying to improve myself, I think, is a really good idea. If I'm not going to get any if I'm, the only reason I'm doing this is to get better at reading, to get better at presenting my thoughts on camera, I guess. I've been doing it for 4 years, and apparently I enjoy it. It's a good challenge for me. One that plays to my shut-in strengths and bookish tendencies. Got out to the library today for the first time in a couple of years. Wow. I was actually able to wander around the library very quickly because Ja was waiting outside. She does not have a lot of energy at the moment. But I picked up the book that had come in, and I also, in honor of actually getting to be in the library, I picked up a graphic novel to read as well, because when I get one book out of the library, I know there's no chance of me being able to read another full book. But a graphic novel is quite doable. It's like a short story, really. So I'm going to enjoy that going forward. Other than that, I did not get very much done today, but that's the way of things. We got dog food, we got a harness for Theo, got a few groceries, got the laundry done. We dethatched Theo very partially. It was a good weekend. I did 3 separate interviews of the same book. I did 3 separate reviews of a book, but I think I crept closer to being a good reviewer. All right, more videos later. I'm gonna go help Theo out with all his barking.